Hello, hello! I'm here with my TBR list for the upcoming ReReadathon, which is going to start on Monday, I believe. I think it's Monday and not Sunday. I'll have to double check. I'll link it below. But the ReReadathon is all about revisiting your favorite books from the past that you've already read. So I've got quite a stack that I pulled out of books that I've enjoyed, that I own, that I had here that I could read. So I'm gonna go with some of those. I may not get to all these. In fact, I'm pretty sure I won't get to all of them. But I wanted to have, quite a stack. That way, this time, if I'm not feeling a book, I can just kind of leave it to the side and move on. But I think for the most part, I've really enjoyed all these, so it should be pretty good. I should have a nice selection to read this week. So let's get started. The first book that I'm hoping to read is The Face on the Milk Carton by Caroline B. Cooney. I don't quite remember a lot about this book. I remember reading it. I know the gist of the book, but I don't really remember the details of it, and I've seen this popping up on a lot of bookstores, a lot of websites, so I just kind of wanted to get back into it and experience it one more time. Maybe I'll read the series, but I just wanted to read it again. I had it down there, and this is a really quick read. I'm hoping I can read this very quickly one day this week. That's book one. Book two is Speak by Lori Hulse Anderson. I've read this now. I think this will be my third time. The first time I read it for an assignment, so I kind of went into it thinking I'm not really going to like this. And I really didn't give it too much of a shot, but I found myself kind of surprised that I wasn't hating it as much as I thought I would. So I felt like the first time wasn't a fair read. I read it again, and I liked it a little bit more. I'd really like to read it now, kind of in a different mindset, just to really experience it and see what I think. So yeah, book number two. Book number three is one of my favorite series. I'm pretty sure I've read all of the ones that have been published so far, and I think that was the end of the series. So I think I've read them all. But I'm going to start back at the beginning, and this is Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging by Louise Redason. I love this series. It follows this little girl named Georgia Nicholson, and she's got, obviously, her little cat there, Angus, who shows up in every book causing a little bit of trouble. And I mean, they're just really funny, simple stories. There's no, big drama. Nobody's dying. Nobody's sick. There's heartbreaking boys and silliness, and they're just really fun. They're really fast to get through because it's in diary style, and they're just fun books. So I'm going to start back at one, and I think I'm going to try to reread this series this year as well. Just quick little fun reads to enjoy. So we're going to start with book number one for this readathon. The next book, book number four, I think we're up to at this point, is one that I also read for a class. It's called The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. This is another one that I had to read for a class, and I kind of was thinking, oh, this sounds awful. Looking at the cover even, I'm like, this is going to be a really bad book. But it really surprised me. This is another diary-style book. There's even some illustrations in it. Of course, I'm not seeing any. There's one. There's some illustrations in it. It was kind of took me by surprise, and having read it with the thought of I'm not going to like this, I don't think I appreciated maybe all that there was. So I've heard a lot of good things about it. I pretty much enjoyed it the first time, so I'd really like to reread it now, knowing that I'm going to enjoy it and see how it changes my opinion of things. So that's the next. Is the last YA one that I have on my list, and that is Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. I recently just reread The Hunger Games with one of my students, and I still haven't read Mockingbird, which is on my TBR list for by this summer at least. So I thought, since I've read the first one and I'm getting ready to read the last one, I might as well go ahead and reread the second one just to get that whole kind of marathoning experience with these books this year so that I'm ready for the movies, because I still haven't seen Mockingjay Part 1 yet since I haven't seen the movie. So I'll be able to watch both of those here soon. So I'm going to reread the middle one to get me ready. Next, I'm going to possibly pick up Bel Canto by Ann Patchett. This is one more book that I read for a class that I just wasn't excited about. There's something about being told that you have to read a book, I think, that makes it a lot less enjoyable. So I'd really like to reread this one. As you can see, this is from my class. It's still got the post-it notes. And excuse me. The next one that I'm going to pick up is Bel Canto by Ann Patchett. This is another one that I was supposed to read for a class, and as you can see, I even still have my little notes in there. I really wasn't digging it then until the end. I liked the ending, and that's kind of a trend with mine. I feel like when I'm told to read a book, it's for some reason a lot less enjoyable than if I just pick it up on my own. So now that I've had plenty of space from this, I'd love to go back and reread this and see what I think now that it's a choice to read it instead of a requirement for a class. So if I've got some time, I plan on picking this one up and seeing what I think about it now that it's not required reading anymore. The next one that I want to read is one of my favorite books by Meg Cabot, and that is Every Boy's Got One. This whole series is really unique. It's told through a sequence of emails and like flyers. There's no real prose, I guess. It's not like a normal book. It's all told through conversations and just pieces of information. But you get the whole story, and I love this one because the characters have like the best romance ever. They're kind of sarcastic with each other, and they know each other's sense of humor, and it's very Pride and Prejudice in that they meet each other and they don't quite like each other at first, and then they're kind of forced together, and I'm sure you can guess what happens. But it's cute. I really like Meg Cabot's writing style. I really like her characters. So I'm going to try to read this one again because I'm pretty sure this was my favorite in this The Boy series. But it's been so long since I've read it, I can't even remember. I'm pretty sure this is the one, though, where they go to the wedding in Europe or something in Europe. It's been too long. I need to reread it. So that's on my to-do list. The next one that I'd like to reread is another one from one of my favorite series, which is Sloppy First by Megan McCafferty. As I recall, this particular book was not my favorite in the series, but once again, I'd really like to reread this whole series because I really enjoyed just the progression of this character throughout the series. So I'm going to be picking this one up. Not a very long read. I'm hoping I can finish this one maybe in a day and maybe marathon this series by this summer. So I'm going to pick this one up. And then my last one on my TBR list is Because I Have to. Come on. To Kill a Mockingbird. Because the new one's getting ready to come out. The second book by Harper Lee. Who thought that was going to happen? So since the next one's coming out, I thought I should probably revisit this one. I really like this book. This is one of the few ones that I was asked to read in a class that I actually enjoyed the first time. I don't think I've read it a second time, which is kind of a shame. But if I have time, I plan on picking this up. This is going to be on my list as well. So there's my TBR list. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to make it to all of them. I feel like that's very ambitious. But I went through my shelves and picked out the ones that I felt like rereading, and these are the ones I came up with. So stay tuned throughout the week for my page updates and the books I get through, and we'll see how many I get through. If you're reading as well, feel free to make comments down below throughout the week or contact me on Twitter. All my links will be down below, as well as the link to more information about the Rereadathon. So stay tuned. Have a good week.